I was about to grace you with the words of the Sorcerer King, and you have the audacity to interrupt me? Human. Are you so eager to die you can't even wait a month? This is His Majesty's message.
Okay.
I do not
She
intend to
controlled her
cast any spells
urge
on
to
the
fucking
same
murder.
scale as the previous war. Let's enjoy ourselves this time.
Oh my god. What a fucking comment. Jesus.
This war was not one that we had planned, nor one we tried to instigate.
I do think it's kind of interesting that they were planning on taking over the kingdom, but the method was like 2 steps removed from war, and Ainz was fine with that. But now that's an actual war, he had a bit of an issue with it. Because fundamentally, if you're going to take over a nation by inciting insurrections and instability, and other words that start with I, you're still going to need to take over the capital, because the knights are still going to be loyal in almost any context. And there's just going to be a lot of royal guards and that kind of thing, and you'd still have to have some level of war. I don't think the peasantry would be able to completely do a coup d'etat. And he would have been fine with that, but it's the war that, it's a full-on war that he wasn't expecting that bothered him.
I might not survive this war, but my teachings will. Maybe my sword techniques aren't worth much, but that's the only legacy I have to leave.
Master Vesture said the same, that he lives as long as our swordcraft lives.
Oh, did the master die? Or maybe he just made that comment since he's getting old. I'm internally debating whether or not I think Brain is going to die. Because he got him fighting Cocytus in the intro. And I just don't see that playing out in a way that works out for him. But I also feel like he's one of the more focused on supporting characters, and I'd be surprised if he gets axed in some way. I mean, who knows? Maybe, like, this season goes for, like, a complete shift in all sorts of dynamics and kills off several characters within the Raestes kingdom.
Maybe we should be thinking of the
Who
future.
knows?
Would you?
A lot of major characters who have lasted for multiple
I'm just happy you trust
seasons
my plan.
haven't
I'll make
died
it
yet.
happen.
Gazif is one of the only real major
So,
deaths we've
It's been a
had.
month.
It seems our forces for this battle are rather limited. Are they needed elsewhere?
You're right. That reminds me, when we destroyed that town nearby, Lord Ainz let some people escape. I didn't think to question it at the time, but...
These are reasonable questions. All of you should watch this next battle. If you still don't understand, I'll explain things to you afterwards.
He has no idea.
I can't play cool forever! Well, that's a problem for future Ainz to deal with. Last time I talked to Albedo about her, she said Negredo should be executed! Never mind.
Huh, okay, I don't think we've
This
met
is the
them
room.
then.
They have been awaiting your arrival, so please enter.
All right.
It's amazing to me we're in Season 4 and still meeting new members of Nazarick.
But is that not cause for concern? If civilization progresses too far, it could become a threat to us. We are
Progress
strong,
further.
but we cannot grow stronger. Humans are weak, but always evolving. My loyalty is...
Why can't you grow stronger? I know you specifically are level 100, and I assume most of them are within level 80 or 90. But if technology progresses, you should be able to advance your own technology and magic much the same. Magic seems to have an upper limit, but technology likely doesn't, and with you having the advantage of all the magic you currently have, you could advance your technology much faster. I don't know about that one, Ainz.
I will consider allowing a small number of humans to survive.
Okay, so that's what...
But they might get mad if I tell them that.
I don't think I realized that happened before.
Well, like I said, let's leave it to future Ainz.
That's his policy about fucking everything, isn't it?
We adventurers don't usually pick a side during a war, but I'll make an exception for the undead.
Ah,
I don't think they go
paladins.
for that, though, but I might consider it if you become my child's concubine.
So which one is it?
My third son?
Oh my gosh! If I recall, he's only 12 years old. And that'd be his concubine.
Yeah, I mean, that was the idea.
Well, I suppose that's that. Yep, that's the deal. I have to have that holy sword. Guess I'll be that little boy's concubine.
Can't really complain since I suggested it. And I thought you'd try to laugh it off instead of acting like this.
I'm less bothered than I am by Rudius because it's at least not portrayed as romantic. And that kind of thing fits the tone of this show more, honestly, and the vibe of this setting. But they're still playing it off as a joke. If they played it in a similar way to Nair, that'd be better. Also, based on the design, I'm gonna guess that she's supposed to be a fucking cleric. What fucking god does she worship? That was some of the best animation in the history of this show.
Don't panic!
Like, surprisingly so. I feel like that came out of nowhere. By modern standards, it's
Remember, our foes are undead. They might
still not
flinch when
the
you hit them,
best,
that doesn't
but
mean the spells aren't working.
that was a bullet. Who the hell has bullets? That is just a mech! Okay, yeah, this has to be a player.
An adventurer in red. From Vermilion Drop, maybe?
I can't believe the Death Knight and Death Warrior were eliminated so easily.
All according to my plan, of course.
Why the fuck do you say those kinds of things, man? His internal self is currently screaming, I feel. Unless he actually does know who that is. I have an extremely hard time believing that wouldn't be a player. None of the civilizations are far enough ahead to use guns. I mean, even Nazarick basically doesn't have any of them. I think they have one or two. If it is a player, I think it's interesting we're seeing more of them than we are the people that we saw at the start of Season 2. Because that is... The couple of scenes at the start of that season are still the only time any character outside of Nazarick has said the word Yggdrasil. Where are we going with this? Oh, this is exciting. That is... Yeah.
Like we had an Yggdrasil!
That's about the reaction I was expecting. But yeah, that is just a mech. Yeah, that's the reaction I knew that we were gonna have.
All according to my plan, of course.
This man just encourages their worship of him.
It took me a moment.
Oh, I think I understand the plan too.
That's
Lord Arn
horrifying.
suspected that this person in the red might appear, so he reacted accordingly with his deployment. In other words, he sent an underwhelming force because he never intended to win in the first place.
Fine work. A brilliant deduction.
It's...
Yes.
Okay, when Demiurge and Albedo think of those things, and Ainz goes along with it, that's one thing. If Aura and Mare or Kirkitis thought of those things, that'd be odd. But Shaltir thinking of that type of thing? Ainz is really bad when put on the spot.
He's from one of only 3 Adamantite rank adventurer teams in Riestes. They operate in the north of the kingdom.
Oh, so Lord Ainz attacked a northern city in hopes of drawing him out?
He's
Like
never
a
heard of
master
them.
fisherman, our lord seized his quarry.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
You couldn't have said it at all.
While we're busy finishing up this war, they should have plenty of time to flee.
Make
But
preparations.
they're not
for
going to
soon we shall
now.
march on the capital. Every city and every town along the way will
They
be
technically
flattened beneath our boots.
won the
Let's teach
fight.
the world.
God, I love this opening. I don't know how it took me this long to realize it, but the shortest skirt in this show is the one that the boy wears.
Yes? My lord, she said if you don't meet with her immediately, she'll start spreading unfounded accusations about you.
We can't have that. Tell her I can spare a moment.
Siblings.
But if she has those other two, who outside of the palace could control so much intel?
Marquis Raven, of course.
What? No, surely not.
This is his domain, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Here's a thought. Marquis Raven loves his son quite
Yeah.
dearly. What do you think he would do if someone took his family hostage?
They focused a lot on his love for his son.
Is that what you think?
She could be lying, but that also is just very likely. Because he was terrified. And he was a very doting father. Finally back to these five.
I bet it's because the drop of red will be at the meeting too. Their leader, Mr. Azuth, is your uncle, isn't he? I'm sure the two of you have a lot to catch up on.
Huh.
What kind of job needs two adamantite-ranked teams?
How the fuck
Could
are
be a
you
trap.
guys
You think they
adamantite?
mentioned Mr. Azuth to lure
Those
us
three
in?
are so
Maybe.
weak. Like, we haven't seen Lacuse in action, I don't think, at all so far. I mean, we've seen some of Evil Eye. She's actually one of the more competent characters outside of Nazarick. She's still leagues and leagues below, I think, even most of the Floor Guardians, I would say. She could probably take out most of the Pleiades in single combat. In a group, probably maybe 2 at best. Maybe 3, if she had a good advantage on them like she had with Entama. But, I don't know. I feel like the fact that we haven't seen Lacuse in combat, I feel like if she's not ridiculously powerful to the point that she could probably match a Floor Guardian, it'd be weird that she wasn't a part of the fight in Season 2. Because that was just focused on Evil Eye, pretty much. And, I mean, one of the ninjas and the big girl died. They died to Demiurge, but it was a 1 hit from Demiurge. I would assume in the ranking of Floor Guardians, he's probably within the top 5 strongest. I would say him, Shalter, and Albedo are probably the strongest out of the ones that we usually see. There's a couple others that I feel like are really, like they haven't really been shown so far. I don't know if Victim is one. Also, I can't remember. In Season 2, Ainz said he was going to use Victim, but he would need to kill him in order to do it. Did they ever explain what that did? Or if he did it? Because I feel like I remember them saying that and then not going anywhere with it. Was that just cut from the adaptation? But I can't remember if Victim was a guardian or not. But then I think one of the other ones was a giant guy who we saw like in Shadow in Season 2 when Ainz went to the lizard folk villages to terrify them. We pretty much just saw a silhouette. I don't think we've actually seen him, but I would guess he's probably pretty powerful given his size. But no, I mean, Adamantite's starting to feel a bit like Special Grade from Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, there's Special Grade, and then there's Sukuna Special Grades. Much like there's those ninjas as Adamantites, and then there's Drop of Red and Momonga and Momon, not Momonga, as Adamantite. Granted, Momon's kind of an exception, but like the Drop of Red guy, I mean, dude pulled up with a full auto machine gun and a fucking mech. Like, I feel like that's a little bit beyond what we've seen of this group.
Get your floozies out of here.
Wow, kid, that's rude.
What are you, jealous, shrimp?
Charm person. Now scram.
Okay, no prob.
Evil Eye best girl.
Charm person.
Everyone made it on time.
It's fucking Roxy.
Then let me get straight to the point. I
Okay.
come to you with a...
That's like almost too similar. That's too similar to be a coincidence. Right? Yeah, I mean, come on. That's way too similar. That cannot be a coincidence. It's the same shade. There's pretty damn similar style. It's the same eye color. Also, I think I might have misinterpreted what they were saying earlier. I thought the guy last episode was in Drop of Red, but I guess that and I think they called him Vermilion Drop are separate things, apparently. I guess.
An adventure in red. From Vermilion Drop, maybe?
What country are you folks from?
We're talking about the future of the world here.
What? Who's there?
No need to be alarmed. After all, if we really intended to kill you, we'd do it quickly instead of wasting time with all these pleasantries.
Okay, wasn't following things. So, Clementine's brother called both Drop of Red and Blue Rose here. The girl is part of Drop of Red, I assume. Same with the big guy. Then we got Blue Rose, obviously their own group. The guy is clearly Drop of Red, given the red hair. And then, yeah, the Clementine's brother came here to recruit them. Got it.
Sure.
The Black Scripture, I believe it was. Though I heard at least one of you deviated from the heroic path a bit. Elite that you folks from.
Well, as all members of...
Fun with it.
Okay, I feel like I'm struggling to follow which characters are part of what group, because I assumed everyone who was entering was part of this guy's group. Then the blue-haired girl got her mouth covered by someone. I assumed that meant Clementine's brother was part of a separate group and that she was still part of this guy's group, and her being silenced was like the group that was with Clementine's brother silencing her so that he could continue talking. I think I'm just going to let it play out and see who the fuck's who, and we'll start from the top.
Everyone made it on time. I speak to Lord Azith Indra and the other members of the Drop of Red, as well as all members of Blue Rose. We want to recruit you to an exclusive team.
Okay, so these three are part of a group, right? And then these five are their own group. And then this guy is part of Drop of Red. They say Drop of Red like it's a group. Who are the other members of the group? I thought it was these guys. Then it seemed like this guy was on his own. Then it seemed like these two were part of Drop of Red. And this guy was on his own, and the ninja guy was with him. Who is with Drop of Red? Why are they making it sound like a group?
An elite team of their greatest heroes. The Black Scripture, I believe it was.
Okay, so all four of those are Black Scripture.
One of you deviated from the heroic path a bit.
That was Clementine.
Seems I've developed quite the reputation. That said, I'm not special. In fact, there are people here as strong as me. Maybe even stronger.
Sorry for the wait, my dears.
So was that the dude in the mech? That's a cool-ass mount.
We may begin our discussion.
Did he just create this fucking table out of thin air?
We will decimate all of your forces. Then we shall march upon the capital and reduce it to naught but a pile of rubble.
Huh.
And thus it shall remain, a lasting monument to the folly of opposing the Sorcerer Kingdom.
So much for...
That seems so close-minded.
Conquering the land.
You possess such great power, so there are countless ways that you could demonstrate it to the world. And yet you have chosen to be vindictive instead.
My goal is simple, but shapeless. It is honest and straightforward, but it slips through one's fingers so easily. In short, there is only one thing that I am searching for. Happiness.
That can't be all.
In the end, is that not the prize that all creatures yearn for?
And to achieve that, you would rob others of their happiness.
Is that such a surprise? My only purpose is to bring prosperity to those I treasure. If your people could only achieve happiness by making the people of another country suffer, what would you do? Would you tell your subjects to give up on their own joy?
Pure sophistry! But do you truly believe that this is the only way to achieve your goal with so much strength?
There may be other ways. But they say that the goddess of opportunity has hair on her forehead, but is bald from behind. In other words, when you see a chance, you must seize it immediately, lest it pass you by.
That's quite the strange goddess.
I only meant it as a turn of phrase, not an object of worship. But the point is, I will not take chances. Does that answer satisfy you?
I suppose so. It's the duty of any nation's leader. We must act in the best interests of our people above all else. I see why you won't accept my kingdom's surrender. And I see there's nothing I can do.
No.
I don't want to pause this scene, but I feel like I have to say, why is this one of the best scenes in the show? Genuinely. Like I mentioned before, the prince is a legitimately decent character. He's actually interesting to follow. And this perspective on Ainz is also very interesting, and it clashes in a unexpected way with the prince. Doesn't help that action scenes in this show generally don't do much justice to how they're written or their concept. So a simple dialogue scene can be a lot more effective with this animation quality.
Though I was given the armor, the sword was entrusted to a man named Brain Unglaus.
Is he here with your forces now?
No. To my knowledge, he is in the royal palace.
In that case, I suppose I can destroy your soldiers with whatever spells I fancy, since you have nothing worth saving.
It's not really my intention to lose,
Jesus.
But I would appreciate it if you'd use magic that doesn't cause undue suffering.
Fair enough. Since we've become acquainted with one another, I'll make certain to slaughter you as gently as I can manage.
I'll call that a mercy.
For someone who has been presented as a bit more cowardly than not. I think he's currently facing death more bravely than almost any other character in the show has. Characters who know they're going to kill another one and characters who know they're about to die, especially at the hands of another one, are always interesting to see how they behave. And it's not often that you get a conversation like this. But this was honestly really well done.
There is only one thing that I am searching for. Happiness.
I was never fit to be king in the first place. All I ever wanted was to make this kingdom a place worth living.
Huh. I'm a bit reminded of the Grail dialogue from Fate Zero.
King say? So what kind of monster was this Sorcerer King?
I'd say he was surprisingly human.
That's the most terrifying part of him,
a
honestly.
monster on the outside, all bones and
Stay away! Don't touch His Highness!
A rebellion at a time like this? No, they're
Why?
just desperate. They'll do anything to survive.
They just want to run?
We've come to demand that you offer up a surrender.
That is not an option. Our only hope for survival is defeating the Sorcerer King. I confirmed that myself.
How could we possibly win?
He has a whole army of undead.
If we offer your head to the Sorcerer King, then he may spare us.
Yeah, he's actually...
Accept it as a sign of loyalty.
He's actually less likely to after that dialogue.
Don't resist, and we'll make it quick.
Because it's clear that you're not loyal.
I am a prince. If you dare to challenge me, you must be prepared to die.
Why is he one of the best characters in this show?
Lost your nerve.
Lord Ainz.
Why is he legitimately one of the highlights of this season?
It's an honor to bask in your glory, Your Majesty. We offer this gift. Please accept it.
Wow. Okay.
Give him a proper burial.
Fuck.
So, what is it that you wish?
Please spare me and my family, Sorcerer King. I pledge my undying allegiance to you and you alone.
Please show mercy on us
as well.
You probably pledged your undying allegiance to that prince as well.
Albedo, send them to Nurunist. We'll find the families later.
Long live the great Sorcerer King!
That's a torture camp, isn't it?
Yes, my lord?
Tell Nurunist not to kill them. Not until they beg for death, at least.
Understood, lord.
Yeah, let me check if that's who I think it is. Yep. Honestly, kind of based. Those who are without loyalty constantly want to pledge it to the next most powerful person.
And even when they do beg for death, she doesn't need to be in a hurry about it.
Got it.
I've lost interest in this farce. Do not let a single one of them escape this battlefield alive.
I honestly think he would have had more respect for the army and the battle if the prince had led it. I think, if not respect, I think there was at least some level of understanding between the two of them. Damn. Yeah, that entire scene with the prince was really good for some reason. It can be hard to make an exclusively dialogue scene compelling, and like a slow-paced dialogue scene, like not even like a fast-paced argument or that kind of thing. Like when it's slow-paced, it can be hard to make that interesting and compelling, but that was genuinely one of the most impactful moments in the entire show, I'd say. And the prince was honestly a really solid character, which he didn't come across as that initially. I'm really surprised that I felt that way in the end. I mean, especially in season 2, the princess is the obviously interesting one of them, and I feel like things with her are going to get really interesting from here on. I'm so curious what the deal she had with them was, and what was up with her when she was meeting with Albedo, because again, like, her eyes didn't look crazy, they looked brainwashed, but she didn't act any different, and she seemed willing. So I'm not sure if that was just a choice of animation, or if that was trying to convey something, but I'm really curious to see where it goes from here.